Download the Pod TV app to catch your favorite shows like Smoke A Lot Radio, The Connected Experience, On the Line, The Gangsta Chronicles, and Doggy Diamonds No Filter, uncut and raw, unscripted. Remember, it's the Pod TV app. You heard?
It real on your side of your town. You tune in to Gangsta Chronicles.
Gangsta Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangsta Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the J's.
And I have a firm belief, man, that how you treat people in life is going to reciprocate that to you in return. Because, and now I'm not asking you this, so this is my own personal opinion, so I don't want nobody going back and saying Ron said this. Like, you go back to those executives that you had the opportunity to work with, and you mentioned one earlier, Damon Dash. He treated people really, really bad when he was successful on top. And see, the one big misconception that people have when they're in power, they think people are bowing down to them because they respect them. No, it's not that they respect you. They're tolerating you because they almost have to at that point, because you're in a successful situation. You're a part of a successful situation. So they feel like that they may have to take some of that crap that you dishing out at that time. But the minute you fall off, instead of somebody giving you a hand to reach you, they're going to push you down even further, because they're glad to see that happening to you. So I've always been the guy getting pulled up into situations to where I've never treated anyone bad in my life during my life. I always treated the janitor like he was the CEO. And I think how we treat people is very, very important. I just think that that's what it is nowadays, you know?
You know what, Steele? At the end of the day, and again, I'm a long way from perfect, but I keep it 100. You know me well enough. I keep it right down the middle. I say what I feel, and it doesn't mean I'm right, but I say what I feel. I'm authentic about it. I try to treat people the way that I want to be treated. At the end of the day, I'm sure there are a bunch of people that can say this, that about the other thing, and most of them probably don't know me very well, because if you do, I really try to live my life like that. Do I do it perfect all the time? No. But I'll tell you what we're talking about, in my humble opinion, is respect again, right? If I respect you as another man or another human being, then we'll at least start out on the right course, right? Right.
Exactly.
And you can destroy that, right? You can lose my respect for you, right? If you work at it, it's not hard to do. I can lose your respect for me if I work at it and show you something different than an authentic and straightforward person that I know, Steele, that you respond to. Okay. That's my choice to destroy that respect, right? Not yours, right? That's mine if I choose to put myself in a position where you're not going to respect me.
Yeah, we all make choices. So
we got off on I took you down a rabbit hole a little bit.
No.
Get back on your course.
It's all good. So I want to ask you, you work with all of these like brilliant people that went on to become legendary. And when I ask this question, I'm not talking about the Sylvia Rones in the world or Mark Ceramis. Who is the best? Who would you say is the best executive that you've worked with in urban music?
In urban music,
like if you had to pick, like from amongst the Dame Dashes, the Master P's, the P Diddy's, or whoever, who would you say was the one that had their stuff the most together?
I mean, I don't know them all, guys. So this is just based on my experience. You know, Brian Turner and Mark Cerami at Priority will forever be ingrained in my mind as great urban executives, because they were just doing what they were passionate about too. Mm-hmm. They weren't trying to change the world. They were trying to just do what they do. You know what I mean? And it did change the world. And that
Yes.
was really attractive to me. But I got to tell you, I've had so many experiences with fantastic executives, not necessarily only in urban, because once I went to the majors, I got exposed to all kinds of genres and I got to work with lots of legendary people, and I'm very appreciative of that. But Jim Urey is a dear friend of mine, and Jim was a fantastic music executive who worked under Doug Morris for a very long time, built one of the greatest certainly was a cornerstone of building, the largest record company in the world at Universal. And he brought me in to run Fontana, and I'll forever be in his debt. I can go on and on about Jim and the things I learned from him about being a great executive, be it music or not, the way he said things, the way he analyzed things, the way he processed things. And I was very blessed to have enough time with him to and by the way, I'm an acquired taste. So thank you, Jim, for taking a chance on somebody who's an acquired taste, because I didn't taste that good to everybody out there.
see, Jim Urey and those guys like that, those are expected. I'm talking about the guys that were kind of like self-made as executives. The guys that were the heads of the Jail Bond records or the No Limit records and things like that, these street executives.
I mean, how can you not go back to Jay Prince and start there, right? I mean, Jay created a culture and a genre out of Houston, Texas that'll never be erased. He just simply created a movement and a brand. And he's a very, very, very smart man.
Yeah, he has to be, because if you look at what he's done outside of music in itself, it's incredible. The man, he owns a couple of islands, man, and he has a ranch to where you just can't walk to his front door to deliver the mail.
Right.
You have to go on the drive to actually get to his crib. So I think he's done some incredible things, man. And I think the biggest thing with him is he did it all kind of on the low too.
And he did it on his own. He did it without, a lot of these other people and a lot of these people that we're talking about had to have money from corporate America or somebody else. Jay created his own success from nothing. Mm-hmm. So sorry, Jay, to keep your name in my mouth during this podcast the whole time, but I love and respect you. But that's the truth. You've got to put Jay at the top of the list. He created an entire movement, genre, and culture from nothing.
Yeah, and personally, like the person today, one of the newest execs, and he's not that new. He's not that new at this point. But my buddy Anthony Tiffin, top dog over at TDE Entertainment. Another guy, man, you don't never hear none of his crew's name in no mess. You don't never see him on a whole bunch of stuff, and he kind of stays behind the scenes like I think an executive kind of should. You know what I mean? He lets his artists go out and shine. He's not the main headline.
Hey, he's done a fantastic job with Top Dog Entertainment. Another one that you need to mention too is Strange Music.
Oh yeah, Travis O'Gwen.
What?
Travis O'Gwen and Tech Nine.
Travis O'Gwen and Tech Nine are not to be trifled with. They've created an empire in Kansas City, Missouri. They've done a fantastic job. Again, two people that I consider to be friends of mine. I think they're fantastic people to me. I've had the privilege of working with them on a couple different occasions. Great people.
Those are my buddies.
And they've created an empire. You can go on and on. Listen, Suge Knight created one of the biggest brands in the business, Death Row Records.
Yeah, well, my only thing with Suge is, and that's like probably one of the great American tragedies right there, is that he really was on the cusp of being probably the greatest record label, black music record label of all time. He was that close, because if you think about it, if he would have just made some better decisions and kind of stayed behind the camera a little bit and kind of just made some moves, he would have wound up having Eminem. He'd have probably wound up bringing TDE along. I really envisioned Suge one day becoming like the head of Interscope one day. I envisioned that because one thing, if you take away all the BS and the shenanigans and all that other stuff, he was a really pretty freaking brilliant dude.
I mean,
you can front on
it. Death Row's a household name. So even given all the stuff you're referring to, he still created a household name with some of the greatest artists of our time.
Yeah, he did. First of all, you know, the thing was, and as you know, with that business, man, I think that sometimes it may be a little necessary to lean on somebody a little bit. But after he acquired Dre, you figure outside of Dre, he went and got a tall, skinny kid from Long Beach and made him a household name. Now, don't get me wrong, Dre had a lot of influence in that, but Suge, they took it to another level, though.
No doubt. And you got to give props. You got to give props where they're due, right? I mean, you know, that's what this is really about. At the end of the day, you know, any success in life is not come easy. And look, there are always demons, right? Always demons that are circling around trying to be a part of that or tear you down. And it's easy to get drunk with success. It's easy to feel like I'm better than you, or I'm invincible, or whatever those emotions that come up that you know we think might, now that we're a little bit more mature, may seem like they're crazy. But man, you know, when you're 25 years old, you're never going to die.
Oh no, you think you're immortal? You're
going to live forever, right? So it's easy to fall into that trap of not really, you know, honestly, you know, you can not fulfill your purpose too. You can be living it and not fulfill it.
Yeah, that's dope. So, man, let me ask you this, Ron, because I know you're busy and I ain't gonna hold you up the whole night. What's going on? What do you have that you're working on right now? Because I know you got something incredible going right now that you probably won't even disclose. But I'm gonna ask anyway.
Well, I've got three fundamental things that I'm intimately involved in. I've got a very large name brand heritage artist that has publishing, masters, and those rights that we're working through, which is fantastic. So we're able to create some new content. We're able to put some contemporary flavor in and around a really, really important, iconic artist. So we're working creatively, and we're working on the business side to maximize that. And I've got two other things. I've got an application that I'll talk to you about that has some patents in and around it, and we're getting close to make that announcement that will really change the face of the music experience online. And we're right there. We've got the patents in place. That's fairly confidential, but it won't be long before I'll talk to you about it, Steele. Okay. And then I am also a partner in an electronic motorcycle company. So we're just now starting that. As you know, I'm a big motorcycle rider. I think I rode it to the studio to see you a couple times. Yeah. Did I lose you?
Oh, no, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back. Yep. For a second there, I thought I lost you. But anyway, I'm a partner in that company, and we're just now starting. We've got kind of our design in place, and you know, this green initiative and the way that the world's going in and away from that carbon footprint. We're going to try and contribute to that and be a part of that, and I'm excited about that. So those are the three things I have going on now that are interesting to me and that I'm passionate about. So God has been great. I'm still here. Thank God. I'm still healthy, and I still love the music, you know. Yeah. Music business. If they'll have me back and somebody wants to pay me a lot of money on part-time job, I'm available.
And that's the thing, man. These guys don't want to pay that much money, and that's like when I had the thought of the job, I said, well, man, I'll be losing money because the thing is, when you go work for those companies, they want to have a say-so in everything that you got going on. Like they were asking me, that's one of the things they said, well, if you came over here, would you still do the podcast? I said, of course. I said, unless you guys got a way to pay me a whole shit ton of money to come over and do that exclusively. I said, but what I do in my off time is my business. So that didn't work out too well. But brother, I appreciate you coming on, man. Where can the people hook up with you at, man?
Man, I'm around at info@Spaulding, SPAULDINGENT, EdwardNancyThomas.com. So SpauldingENT.com. You can always reach me there. I'm not hard to find. There's usually somebody around that knows who I am and has my digits. My phone number hasn't changed in 25 years, so I'm not running from anybody. So that's the same. So if you got my digits or you can find somebody that has them, all you got to do is buzz me too.
Just ask about it. Okay, there we go right there, Ron. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, I thank you so much for having me on. I love you, man. I wish the best for you and your family. I want you guys to stay healthy and safe. I can't wait to see you again when we all start moving around, brother. And thank you, man, for the opportunity to come spend time with you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.